Hello, I'm Jenny. Welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to try to recreate the Popeyes spicy chicken sandwich, but make it fully carnivore from the chicken to the bun. Years ago, when these first came out, my sister-in-law was obsessed with them, and for good reason. They're freaking delicious. But on carnivore, they are a no-no with the brioche bun and the breaded chicken. I think that we can make our own carnivore version that is just as good, if not better than the original. In the description of this video, I've listed out the final recipes for everything: the bun, the chicken, the spicy mayo, all of that jazz, because this is going to be a bit of a troubleshooting experience. I kind of want to figure out, what is actually going to taste good. So I tried a lot of different variations of each. This recipe will be a part of an upcoming book that I'm writing. It's called Complete Carnivore. The first half of the book is a complete in-depth guide to the carnivore diet, with troubleshooting, a full in-depth guide, FAQs, and so much more. The second half of the book is a cookbook where I will share all of the recipes that I have shared with you here on YouTube, plus a whole bunch of new recipes that I've been coming up with. I'll have more information on my book, like the release date, when you can pre-order it and all that stuff. I'll have all that information for you here in a few weeks. So be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss anything. Let's start with the bun. I'm going to first make some cloud bread, a loaf, and some buns. I've got 2 cups of egg whites, and I'm going to place that in my stand mixer. I'm then going to add 1/4 cup of allulose and a 1/2 teaspoon of Redmond's real salt, and then I'm going to turn the mixer to high to beat these egg whites to stiff peaks. This is important. So once you think you've gotten to stiff peaks, go a bit longer and then you'll be good. Then I'm going to turn down the mixer to maybe 2 or 3, and I'm going to slowly mix in 1 cup of egg white protein powder. I'm going to spray the inside of my bread pan with some avocado oil spray, and then pile the mixture into the bread pan and make it look nice. I've got enough left over to make 4 buns as well. I'm going to bake these at 325 degrees Fahrenheit for about 30 to 35 minutes for the loaf, and about 20 to 25 minutes tops for the buns. Once I remove them from the oven, I brush the tops with a little bit of butter to add some fat. Now these turned out great, but they were a little dry. So for my next bun experiment, I decided to add in some egg yolks. It's the same mix of 2 cups of egg whites, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and 1/4 cup of allulose, and whip that to stiff peaks. And then 1 cup of egg white protein powder, stirred in at a lower speed. But then once the egg white protein powder is all mixed in, I'm going to add in 3 to 4 broken egg yolks and then gently fold those in. This second time around, I'm making all buns, and I'm piling them up high. I'm experimenting with putting some in a greased ramekin to try to get more of a bun shape. I'm going to add some grated cheddar to the last of this batch to try to make some cheddar buns. And then I decided I was going to fold in some blended cottage cheese to this very last batch just to see what happens. Most of the buns turned out very nicely, except for the cottage cheese buns. They deflated very quickly, and I think that's because I added the cottage cheese after the egg whites had already begun to deflate, and so that one didn't work out very well. After all this experimentation, I think I've decided that I'm going to use the recipe that has the egg yolks in it. I really did like the ones that I mixed the cheddar into, so I think that is the recipe that I'm going to put down into the description for you. Now that the buns are perfected, let's move on to the chicken. Popeyes uses chicken breasts, but I'm going to use bone-in, skin-on chicken thighs because I think they're much juicier. I think the main thing that I want to figure out in these experiments is if I want to bread them or not. So the first batch of chicken thighs I just seasoned with garlic powder, onion powder, smoked paprika, and salt, and then I cooked them in my Tasty air fryer. I loaded the thighs into the Tasty, and then I inserted the built-in temperature probe into one of the thighs. Then I turned on the Tasty and hit the chicken preset and scrolled over to leg, and then I hit this little chef hat button and made sure it was turned all the way up to +6 dark, and then let it go. I had to flip them once, and they turned out great. If you'd like to get $30 off of your own Tasty air fryer, head to the link in the description and use code JENNY30. And thank you so much to Tasty Air Fryer for sponsoring today's video. Now it was time to build my very first version of the spicy chicken sandwich. I took the bones out of the thighs, and then I slathered some spicy mayo onto one of the buns. I made that out of avocado mayo and sriracha and hot sauce. And that was my first version of the spicy chicken sandwich, and honestly, it turned out great. The Popeyes chicken sandwich has some pickles, so I threw some of those on so we could try it that way, and it was amazing. But I feel like we can make the chicken even better. For the next batch of chicken thighs, I marinated them in pickle juice for about 18 hours. This is what Chick-fil-A does to make their chicken so tasty. After they were done marinating, I laid them all on a baking sheet and put their skin over the top of each of them. Then I seasoned them with the same seasonings I always use on chicken: garlic powder, onion powder, salt, and smoked paprika on both sides. Then I prepared a pork rind breading. So this is just ground up pork rinds with some spices. I added cayenne and chili flakes to make it a little bit spicy. And then I rolled the chicken in Cholula hot sauce and then dipped it into the pork rind mix. I did that for 4 of the thighs, and then I did 2 of the thighs with just the hot sauce wash with no breading. Then I did an egg wash and then added the pork rind breading on the remaining chicken thighs. I loaded these into the Tasty with the same chicken presets, leg mode, +6 dark, and then let them cook. Honestly, they all turned out really well. So then I just had to build a sandwich out of each of them. I was eating a lot of spicy chicken sandwiches during testing. I removed the bones from each chicken thigh, and then I piled up enough of the chicken thigh meat for a sandwich to fit on the bun that I had made, and then I put a slice of pepper jack cheese on it and a slice of bacon, and then I microwaved that to melt the cheese over the chicken. Now I'm gonna take one of the buns slathered in a ton of mayo. I'm probably using 2 tablespoons of spicy mayo for each sandwich, and then add in the chicken with the cheese and the bacon, and that is looking really, really good. I have to say, after eating 6 of these sandwiches, that my very favorite one was the one that had the hot sauce wash, no breading, and then cooked in the Tasty. And then I loved the pepper jack cheese and the bacon and just tons of spicy mayo. And then the bun that we settled on was the one with the grated cheddar in it and the added egg yolks to add some fat. I think my spicy chicken sandwich is so much better than the original. I may be biased, but I'm just happy that I can actually eat a spicy chicken sandwich. I don't have to worry about all the crap that's in all these fast food restaurant spicy chicken sandwiches. Let's do a macro breakdown with calories, fat, protein, all that jazz. We'll start with my sandwich, the carnivore version, and then we will talk about the Popeyes version. My version of the spicy chicken sandwich has 781 calories, 68 grams of fat, 39 grams of protein, and 7 grams of carbs. Though those carbs are coming from the allulose that we added into the buns, and those carbs don't count. Those are canceled out. So I think maybe we're probably left with 1 to 2 grams of carbs from the cheese. Let's compare that to the Popeyes spicy chicken sandwich. That one has 700 calories, 42 grams of fat, 28 grams of protein, and a whopping 50 grams of carbs. I will take my version over the Popeyes version any day. If you'd like to try this recipe out for yourself, like I said, I've listed out all of the instructions in the description below. Give it a shot and let me know what you think. Thanks again to Tasty Air Fryer for sponsoring today's video. If you'd like to grab a Tasty for yourself, use code Jenny30 at checkout to get $30 off your own Tasty Air Fryer. That link is in the description as well. This thing is amazing. The built-in temperature probe is a game changer. I probably use my Tasty at least 3 days a week. And with that, I'll see you in the next video.